So, it's been a week or so since the One Piece film Red trailer was out. And wow, this still has me so gassed. I mean, who the heck is UTA? Has Shanks just been out there laying the smacketh down on these... Nah, I'm playing. But what the heck? It seems like Shanks has a daughter. And I think this has caught everyone off guard. Now of course, is this film canon or not? I'm led to believe that it isn't. But let's just roll with it for now. And you guys and girls can let me know down in the comments whether you know if it is or if it's not. But back to Shanks, because if we're talking historically, him having a daughter that we don't know about, that kind of wouldn't be shocking. I mean, historically, pirates are known to plant their flags at every port, if you know what I'm saying. But I do hold Shanks to a higher regard, and trust that he hasn't been doing as such, but this is actually really interesting. One thing that I've seen being discussed is the timeline of film Red, as to when it's set. Is this a prequel? Is this pre-wano or is this post-wano? And honestly, I think it's quite hard to tell. But what I have done here is narrow things down for us. I've looked at a few clues that we have, and trust me, we actually do have some clues to help us out, which I'm about to run through. So as I go along, you let me know down in the comments if you actually do know the answer or if I'm completely off the trail. But wow, film Red. And you know what's also red? That big subscribe button over there. So hit that before we get into things. But okay, here's the first clue. And this actually dates back to when we had this poster of Zoro revealed, and he's got this punk rock look. You see, Zoro here is dressed in a leather jacket that's got some studs and a large chain to one side. The white shirt underneath is ruffled and it's untucked as you'd expect from Zoro. Unlike Sanji, who's always looking clean. But I digress. The rest of Zoro's look comes together with these leather trousers and black boots with blue buckles. And the colour is actually matching one of Zoro's hilts. And his 3 swords, which we can see in this picture, is actually what's most important here. Because if we look at his swords, we can see that Zoro is in possession of Enma here. So the obvious suggestion here is that this must be post-wano, just given the fact that Enma did not exist prior to this. Or actually, Enma did exist, but Zoro didn't have Enma prior to this. Furthermore, we can see that Shisui isn't on Zoro's hilt. So I think it's safe to assume that Zoro does not get this back either. So just taking this into account, I'd imagine that there's a strong possibility that this film is set post-wano. However, there is an alternative argument. Looking at the trailer, we can see that Shanks still has his straw hat here. And that would suggest that he met this girl before going to Luffy's village and eventually giving Luffy the straw hat. So if we take that into consideration, that would actually suggest that this is a prequel and not actually set post-wano. But I highly doubt it. You see, if you're asking me, I'd assume that this film is probably set post-wano, and the images we get of Shanks are actually from Yuta's flashback, and that's why he still has that straw hat. I've heard conflicting arguments of Yuta's relationship to Shanks, with some suggesting that she's not actually his daughter, but more like someone he found and raised for a little bit. Hence why she considers Shanks to be her dad. And in addition to that, Shanks also thinks of her as a daughter. Now if we just analyse the video without any headcanon here, it's of a young Yuta and Shanks standing shoulder to shoulder, and Shanks says, "Yuta, even though we are far apart, you will always be my daughter." The film shows a young Yuta shedding tears and then pans back to a grown-up Yuta standing on a live stage as a diva loved by the world. We then see Luffy calling Yuta's name and he's furious here. In addition to Yuta and Shanks, Gordon, another important character in the film, is shown in a new drawing by Oda. Now who is this Gordon guy? He seems quite large and has a large scar on his head. Could he be friend or could he be foe? I think there's a lot to unpack there. Will he be a canon character that comes into the story later on? Who knows? I'm not gonna lie, I'm actually so excited for this film. Ever since I saw the trailer, I've been reading everything I can find to do with it, and with a couple of months till its release, I honestly can't wait. The plot I've seen given is that the film takes place on an island where UTA, who's the world's favourite diva, is set to perform in front of the public for the first time. Yuta's singing voice, which she delivers while concealing her true identity, has been described as otherworldly. Now what does otherworldly mean here? I don't know, but maybe it's something that we find out. The Straw Hats, led by Luffy, have visited to come and enjoy her singing voice, but then they learn that UTA is the daughter of Shanks, and this actually sets the plot for the whole film. I'm not gonna lie, whether this is canon or not will be interesting to see, but I know a lot of people are looking forward to seeing Shanks again, and I personally think that we may be let down in that regard again, because one thing we know about Oda is that he's gonna keep Shanks a secret, and he's probably gonna drop nuggets of information through flashbacks of UTA just to give us a bit of understanding, but not give us the complete picture. But that's just my personal opinion. You let me know what you think down in the comments. Do you think this film will be set in the past, present, future? How much of Shanks do you think will be revealed? I have a feeling that we might get about 10 minutes worth of Shanks information in the whole film and still be left with more questions than answers as usual. But I guess that's just me being pessimistic. But anyways, I guess I'll leave things there and remind you all that if you've liked anything I've had to say, then please make sure you leave a like on the video. And if you like content like this, or just want to support your boy, then make sure you subscribe to the channel so you never miss out when I drop more content just like this. Say.